How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, now this we actually going to do it Facebook Live. Yeah. Hi, Colin.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Glad to have you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so we have more participants actually coming in. Okay. Now, today topics we are actually extension of VUCA for some of us actually know what is this VUCA because we have actually attended the part 1. What is VUCA actually? Can you still remember or not? What is this VUCA? V stand for what? V, come on, let's give it a try. V stand for volatility, number 1. Okay. U stand for what? Uncertainty. Okay. Now, how about C?
Complexity.
C stand for? Yes, complexity. Excellent, Colin. Now, how about the last one? A.
Ambiguity.
Yes, ambiguity. Yes. Now, these are the 4 elements that actually usually will cause a chaos in a situation, for a situation. Now, then what will be the solution for it? It is also VUCA, VUCA again. Now, this time, this acronym actually means having vision, yeah, develop a good understanding about the situation, and having this clarity of how to handle it or go down to the root cause of what it is. And the next thing is be agile to handle the situation. So this will be the VUCA against the other VUCA. Yeah, all right. So now today this topic, we are actually going to talk about seed principle, something about this seed principle. But before I'm actually go further in, I wish to actually share to you all who are we. Some of you all probably already know us. What do we do? But it is good for us to share to you all what do we do actually. Yeah. Now tell what we are actually a total solution for performance management, and our system is actually include comprehensive human resource management system plus the training. Okay, well, I shall actually share my screen for you all to know more about what do we do. All right, 1 minute. Let me share the right PowerPoint. Okay, well, can you all see my screen? Can, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Now, the solution that we actually provide is actually for performance management. It is with the focus in helping company to build winning teams by providing how to set clear goal and expectation. Now, with the tools, we will be able to help the company to track the progress, and from there, we will actually going to help the team how to make adjustments. Should it is actually lagging, they will be able to come up with some brainstorming session to cover back what is actually lost. And so it's actually leading or on track. Let's have a celebration. Now, the next thing is actually competency. Well, competency is actually a module that we actually developed to help the company how to train the team to become more competent. Okay. Now, and in order to help a company to really improve sustainably, we also believe in getting the team committed. Yeah, how to get the team committed? Well, it will be telling the team what is in it for me. Yeah, well, yes, our system will be performance linked compensation system. Yeah, for the team to use. And the last thing is how to actually get the team to be able to consistently doing it. Okay. Now, here will be a picture where we have actually done our onboarding training for one of the publisher company just a few days ago. The last Monday and Tuesday, we were actually on board one of these public listed company in Kedah. They are actually a property development company with specialties in engineering and constructions. Yeah. So, and in particular, what we actually taught in more detail, this will be our solution that we actually offered in our SaaS. It is actually a subscription-based model, and and it is actually start from US dollar three US dollar only. Yeah. Now, this will be the module that we actually have. Yeah. From strategic action planning to SWOT analysis, from SWOT analysis go down to OKR, and this is the part that actually helping the team to have clear goal, clear expectation, track the progress, and then by using OKR working framework to kind of guide the team what to do next. Okay. And in terms of competency, we are actually having this employee development program built in, where the company can actually upload the training program, training video, and also resources onto our this library. And from then they will be able to start tracking what is their KPI as well as competence. With that, they will be able to help the team to improve. Well, there will be more tools in this competency module. And when we actually go down to further in, will be how to get the team to get committed, where it is actually a reward and recognition module. Yeah. Now, that also include a metrics as well as a leaderboard system to get the team to be able to have this healthy competition. Yeah. Now, the very, very important thing is how to get the team to be able to do it more consistently. So that will be our next module. So this is what we actually do, a total solution provider, how to build winning team and grow the business. Okay. Now, this is what we do. Our company actually established 3 years ago. And right now, our system are actually matched to have more people to start using it. Okay. Now, this is us, who we are. And for now, I wish to introduce our guest speaker of today. Well, his name is actually Desmond Sim. He is actually a mindfulness and also a business coach. And his specialty is actually in change management advisor. Yeah. He's also a facilitator and author. Yeah. And today, what we are actually going to learn is actually about seed principle. Yeah. Which is actually a VUCA part 2. Now, today, Desmond will actually dive into the core principle of unlimited possibility, something about the pen. Okay. Now, we will also be talking about ways to eliminate the problem or potential problem arising in project and implementation. And the third one, which is a very good one, the root cause of hindering organization hiring or retaining talent. Okay. And also he will be sharing ways, many ways to improve, to shape, and also to create a new, better organization and a whole new world. And seriously, let's put our hand together to welcome Desmond Sim. Come on. Okay, Desmond, I pass the stage over to you now. Okay, let me stop this sharing. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Shone, for a grand welcome for today's session, and to all the participants that has actually spent your very precious moment to be here with all of us here. I think my total gratefulness to all of you, and I promise today that I'm not going to be doing something like wishy-washy kind of presentations here and there, but at least something that in adjunct that the previous session that I've actually done on VUCA. So I guess this will be the part 2, then to dive further, the reason why, what happened if VUCA model does not work. You know, there's a possibility that whatever we are having today, it does not work in the long run. So what can we really do, and what are the ways that we will need to be seriously understand the core foundation or fundamentals that actually is causing the entire things that does not work. So I guess that's something that we can discuss. We can feel free to interact with me. There'll be a story interactions. I hope that I could get some of your participations. Don't have to worry about whether right or wrong. It is just to go along with me, and this is something that I would say honestly, for this year, this is the first presentation that has spoken about this principle. In the whole entire world, there are only 2 persons who is actually able to do this type of presentation, and the other one person is actually situated in New York City, and the other person, second person, would be me. so I guess that I hope you guys have a beneficial for today's this afternoon. So let me share this slide and am I able to do the sharing? I think so, right? So let me
Yep,
share
should be
this.
able to.
Okay, so now this is actually what we're going to talk about today's sessions. The SIP principle. Now, bear with me. Just keep an open mind, and why I would be talking about this topic, something that not only about VUCA model, but also we are also going to experience a lot of things that we are doing is not working anymore. And thanks to COVID has actually awakened us, and in a very big time manner. A lot of industry is going to be diminished in the long run, probably in the very short to medium term future, and we are going to be experiencing a different world than coming in front of us, which is sometimes can be very scary and we can be really freaked out. So in the previous session, I talked about VUCA, which basically symbolize and representing what we are facing today's world. Now, this topic today about the SIP principle is to highlight what if VUCA or any change model or any type of model that the expert is talking about may not be able to resolve any problems that we have today. We are experiencing a lot of problems. We face problems daily basis. Sometimes in hourly basis. For some people, and I could really understand. And my goal today is to be able to offer this tool, this technique that might help you in some form or manner, hopefully. So this is what I will be talking about. And just to recap on the last presentation on the first part, this is actually what I've actually talked about. This is what we are facing. This is what we are looking at, the reality of our world today. We have a volatility all the time. This is what the most typical, whether it's in organization, whether this is in government agency, whether this is in a corporate world, whether this is in our family. It could be, and generally the ratio, don't worry about the ratio, but generally speaking, we'll be facing the volatility, the uncertainty, complexity, the ambiguity all the time. It's just the ratio of it. How much would that be? Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. And as what Shone has actually talked about, this VUCA model has been coined by the US military during the 1990s, is to illustrate the environment world about post-Cold War. And remember that how the Americans actually find ways to break the Soviet Union down. And today we might experience another one more round. Maybe we're gonna break Russia again. So let's hold our horses. We will see how things transpire later on. And that's where, from the business leader, they picked it up and implemented in the modern business world and how we are facing today. In the 90s, they've already discovered this is the world that we are going to be living. Can you imagine? Today is 2022. That is about 30-40 years already. So which means that we will be constantly facing fast change, very unpredictable, and because of that, there always be consistently uncertainty. That is actually certain. The uncertainty is always certain. So it's very paradox. You have to understand that. And because of that, it is not because of the volatility is causing it, but because of the way how we operate in today's world, the complexity. Today human being becoming more complicated than ever before. Today we have social media, we have mobile phone, we have technology. It's supposed to help us to be more effective, more simple life. We should be more happy, but yet it is otherwise. It has created another chaotic situation for us to face. So complicated situation happens, interdependent situation happens. So today we don't live independently anymore. Okay, so like for example, we have to force to open up the borders from Malaysia to Singapore, otherwise we're gonna die. There's no trade coming in, and Singapore rely waters from Malaysia. Can you imagine if Malaysia cut the water supply to Singapore? Then they will be in deep trouble also. So that is actually the basic thing. of the interdependent world. And because of this kind of issues resurface, then we'll see a lot of people trying to comprehend this in a different manner, in different perspective. And then it created a lot of ambiguity, misrepresentation of what is supposed to be all about. And then that's why you can see we have fake news coming up. We have things that may not reflect the reality, reflect the truth. So of course, to counter it, we will look at one by one. We have to have a clear vision, goal. That is actually to counter the volatility. To basically to counter the uncertainty, we need to look at how we can constantly make ourselves understand what is going to what has happened, and what is going to happen next, and can we learn from that? Can we unlearn what we know, and can we relearn again what's going on the next coming months to years, and foresee the complexity of our view. The most important thing, due to the complexity, we need to be very clear how complicated it is all about. Sometimes we say, "Whoa, it's too complicated, I don't want to know about it." Then it's wrong, So we got to get very clear on it. And of course, in the end of the day, we need to be agile. And sometimes we need to be very careful about the ambiguity. Sometimes we have to be very agile and flexibility to create the decision process based on the situation. Now, this is what I've talked about on my last presentation and sessions. Now, these are one of most well-known model. People relied on it. I relied on it as a change management, what they call work, projects here and there. I'll constantly talk about this as part of the principle. It may look like theory, but in reality, it reflects whatever we are facing today. Now, what happened is, the next question is, thanks to COVID has actually awakened us into the next phase of our future. Now, what if this suggestion on the having clear vision, understand, and be clear and agile is just still theory? It's just still like white papers or things that you still read about it, but no action. No action, and you won't be able to see some case study to some practitioners able to deliver all these things, which is true, and it would happen. It might happen, and can you imagine that the new world will force us to be fixing things, fix the things that we have done in the past, and somewhat rather we will no longer require to fix the old stuff, because the new things will come in. Like in the 90s, we were taught that the IT industry is going to be boom. So in the 90s, you talk about it, what is IT all about? So the minute you think about it, it's only the ATM machines, the computer, the mainframes. These are the IT. But today's IT is not the IT that we used to know already. It's a whole total different world. We talk about metaverse, we talk about mobile computing, cloud, and big data, AI, and these are the different reality as it is. So same industry, but evolve into a different area already. Now, it's supposed to help us to live a better life, solve a lot of problems. Now the issue is we are creating another different landscape, different opportunities and threat, which means that new industry coming in, or whatever is in existing industry is going to be gone for sure. So what if this type of tools that we know still not able to fix the problem, still not able to allow us to live with it and carry on it? And that's why I would like to share with you guys that this is the blueprint that we always talk about. So we embedded it as part of our strategy, and we do that in terms of implementation technologies such as emerging technologies like virtual reality, AI, some of the fintech projects that we propose to mainland China, especially the Silicon Valley in Shenzhen. Sometimes they take it, sometimes they don't. But this model usually is the best, simplest way that we do today to help clients to become better and better. Now, as a consultant, I must say, not all change management projects or projects, it completed with success. To be very bold and to be honest with you, and there are a lot of elements. There are a lot of elements. One of them will be people issues, and then will be the cultural issues, and these are the things that always hindering why we are doing these new things and stepping into uncharted waters. So they created a lot of different perspectives, different perceptions, and people don't want to be part of it. Don't want to be part of it. And why? Despite we invested so many solutions, so many all this kind of things, but it still doesn't work. Now that also comes back to the original issues, because they are the imprints that lock us down culturally basis. As an Asian, we all know that there's actually across about most Asia's countries that seniority in a corporate world, or somebody which is slightly a bit gray hair or whatever it is, it's something that we should be pay attention, especially Japanese and Korean. If you go to the company and you work with them, and these are the things that you cannot just sweep under the carpet. Now, there's a study of based on author Ben Hardy, wrote in the Medium. Medium is actually a very reputable news portal, where the National Science Foundation published an article that average persons would consist about almost close to 60,000 thoughts per day. And of those of it is 80% are negative, and 95% of it is recycling the same thing as the day before and ever. Since the 80% are negative and 95% are same as yesterday, so what's left? So basically nothing left. You say you are being positive, that is almost impossible. So these thoughts form brain cells that multiply every 24 hours. So if we are in the field for 30-40 years already, then how many years that we have lived with these kind of things? So that will be something that today I'm going to talk about, something that you might want to pay attention, that these are the things, could be the blueprint, could be the imprint, that hindering us to move forward. Now, just keep in mind, these are the things that you probably heard of it. Some of these things you may not heard of it, but just bear with me. At least I could show you some of these things. And why this imprint comes from, where does this imprint comes from? Then I would like to share with you a story. And this story I require some of you participate with me. So it's about the idea about pen. Okay, so can you see this in front of me?
Pen.
It's a pen, right? It's definitely
Yeah.
a pen, right? So in my room, all of you guys are seeing this as a pen, and no doubt of it. Okay, unless you see things otherwise, then it'll be very scary for me. So it's a pen. Now, if I have a puppy, imagine as a puppy, imagine, okay, and see this, and I wave this item to a puppy, what would be the puppy say this? That's a quick guess.
Candy, probably.
It could be a candy, it could be a toy, right? So for a puppy, for a dog, it will be like something for him or her to chew, right? So we call it chew toy in a way itself. So I'm not sure I don't think the puppy is gonna use it to write. That's impossible. Otherwise we'll be in deep big trouble already. The world has turned upside down. So right now I'm gonna put this item right just in front of my table. I just pretend the pen is on my table. Now, all of us, you and I, all of us, let's go for yum cha. Okay, let's go for tea. Okay, I think we can go for tea now lah, since today all open up, right? 1st April. So I bring along my puppy. So at this point of time, none of us are actually watching this. None of us. Maybe by soul itself, our soul is living here, but physically we don't see these things. We are not here. So my next question is, what is this item actually? Since we are not around, we are not present. Don't know. So I'll open up the Pandora box. actually the item has not been discovered yet. Okay, has not been discovered yet. Because why? I'll tell you next question. Okay, the next story. Okay. Let's say we are completed. We have enough yum cha. We completed our drinking session. We come back. Now bring along my puppy also. As I open the door, and then I take this item up, and for human being, is still a pen. Am I right? Now for a puppy, it's still something that he or she can bite. Am I right? Okay. Now next question it is. So if I would see as a pen, the puppy sees as something to be chew toy, does the item coming from me or the item coming from the pen itself? Which means, does the pen telling me as a pen or I'm going to tell the pen as a pen? From here or from here? From here, right? Because we have to see it before we can tell this is a pen. Am I right? Okay, now the good question now. The puppy same goes with it. The puppy will only be able to see this as a chew toy once the puppy come into the room and sees. If the puppy don't see it, there's nothing there. No, why we have this? Why we won't say this is like I don't know, maybe some item, not a pen. Now now let me dwell a little bit further. What was the reason we still see as a pen, but not others? You know, some of them may be pencil lah. No, you can write lah. Actually, it's a pen. Okay, it's a pen. It's a really nice Parker pen. Okay, now the issue why we still see it's a pen is because there's an imprint that we have this since when we are young. Somebody has taught us about this before, definitely. So whenever we close our eyes, we develop a brain cells. That brain cells actually allow us to remember this item. So how do we know? So whenever we open our eyes and we see this form, color and here and there shape items as we open up, it comes from, first thing, our eye. And from our eye, so if our eye can see this, it must have some light. Am I right? If our eyes don't have light, we cannot see anything. All dark. It's like how blind people see. You must have light. If our eyes don't have good eyesight, blind or not enough what do you call flashlight, we got problem. Just like camera, the flashlight not good enough. The pictures are not good. Same goes to our eye. Our eye is just like camera, just like the lens. Very important in our life. So as we see this, the light projected this item, the body, and it will go through a process of finding the database. You know, we have our own database, the imprint in our subconscious mind, and then immediately pick this up. Oh, this is a pen. Cannot be other thing, because why? It's been actually recorded, and cannot be changed. You know, so that's why immediately we can actually tell this item is always a pen. Now you come and tell me, is it, hey Desmond, we all know lah. So what can we do with this, right? So what can we do with this pen, right? Now, first thing, what we have to learn is there's an imprint on a pen. Okay, so somebody must have taught us this item before. Now, if somebody taught us something before, and we remember until the day we die, which means there's a possibility that we acquire something new, and then ingrain in our mind, ingrain our brain cells, there's a possibility to change something differently, right? I'm talking possibility. How do we know? There's actually an algorithm that we actually practicing these SID principles in a way itself. We thought that this is like, come on, crazy lah. We talk about a pen here and there. Now, to justify this pen story, we also did some research and in synonym that basically collaborating with some of the today modern science that we know. For example, okay, this is the thing that let me see. Let me just open up the. Okay, fine. Okay, this is actually the 4-step that we are actually always talk about. Now, why I talk about this 4-step method? There is actually an way how do we change it. Okay, this 4-step method, which is actually the loophole where that person, the original first person who has taught us about a pen. So that person has been using 4-step in a very, very long time. Now, how does it work? Number one, step one is to set the goal and direction. Okay, specifically using SMART model. Anybody know SMART model? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. These are the very common algorithm that we use to set our goals in our life, in our corporate world, and here and there. Nothing new, nothing old. It is not something ancient principle as well. Okay, we just need to set specific goal and specific direction. Number two is to identify and confirm the right partner. Now, what is the right partner? I will explain a little bit more detail. Just bear with me on this 4-step. Now, the third step, which is actually equivalent important, because sometimes Malaysian people, like politicians, talk a lot, but we never do anything. That's why things are not actually working as it is. So we need to consistently support and help the other partner to achieve the goal and direction. What does that mean? Sometimes very, very paradox, right? We have our own goal, right? Why should I actually help the other person to achieve something? Instead that I'm supposed to work on my goal, right? Just keep in mind, just open up your mind and bear with me, because this is actually very different logic behind why we are doing this. And then in the end of the day, we celebrate every small wins and success with intention to achieving both win-win. We rarely do that. We only do it when we suddenly got big project already. We go for drinking here and there. That's when we only celebrate. But actually it's wrong. That model does not help us. That model is actually today's all business people doing, and in the end of the day, diminishing all others. Now, this method has been actually mining by all the Tibetan philosophers, Tibetan monks. Now, no doubt, Tibet is actually a Buddhist country. It was a Buddhist nation in a way itself, and today it still is. But what do they do best is to mine the old ancient scripture. When I say mine, it's like archaeologists, So they dig all the source to keep all these ancient scriptures. Don't know what they're gonna do with it. Maybe they want to do something very different, fancy here and there. So it's during 7th to 8th century they're already doing this, and they will classify this as secret teaching. So that's why they won't be teaching you all these things. They won't be telling all those secret, how they can fly, how they can float, how they can actually walk on waters and all those things. You will think about got such a thing, it's like mystic. But keep in mind, I'm going to tell you about why these things are successful, because they are using this model and method to run monasteries all over India and in Asia as well. And today there are a lot of Buddhist temples and monasteries in Canada and Australia than no other countries. And it is no surprise, in the next 2 decades from now, United States and America and Canada will be one of the largest Buddhist nation. You may not know. This trend is being charted by prophecies, but let's keep prophecy aside. I'm more interested how we can apply this in our life. Let's go one more step. Okay? So this 4-step, how good would it? It's also quite close synonym with Isaac Newton. Anybody heard Isaac Newton? If nobody heard about Isaac Newton, then please go through the science book. This is very, very common name. If nobody know Isaac Newton, I also cannot help you all. Okay, so Isaac Newton has a lot of law principles, and one of the so-called the great man has a lot of IP, intellectual property rights. Okay, so Isaac Newton proposed third law principle, and this third law principle still works until today. Now, if Isaac Newton say this law will work, that means it works. Okay, it cannot be like, you talk about this mystic here and there, it doesn't work. Now, if Isaac Newton also discovered the same thing and it works, that means the universe speak the same language. It's just on different perspective only. Now, how do we do it? Now, he proposed that the third law of motion during in 1687. That was a very, very long time, okay? 16th century. In 16th century, Sir Isaac Newton saying that every equivalent energy and intention of both sides will create a bounce back effect. Who disagree with me this? Agree, right? All right, you can't be saying no on this. This is the truth, nothing but the truth. Now, how does this apply in 4 step? That is why on the step number 3, if you are sharp enough, this is where we are putting that step 3 into this 4-step method. How are we going to ensure on the other party also getting the same energy as what we are doing? So which means energy and intention, both sides must be equivalent at the same time to create the bounce back effect. You cannot be like, I'm bigger size, you're smaller size, I push you, then you fall down, then there's no bounce back effect. That means you're a bully. If you're a bully, this method will not work. This method will not encourage and promote the big one. The big shots will take over the smaller one. This is not what we're trying to do. The idea is to help everybody to be successful. Now, if you think that this is kind of like acceptable, then just keep with me, because this is actually what we're supposed to do in the long run. That's the reason why when we run a change management initiative, people are not trying to buy in. People are not accepting the situation. People are saying all this kind of bullshit here and there. So because they don't understand the pen, number one, the reality of the Sir Isaac Newton third law of motion, because they could study this before, but they probably won't practice this. It's just theory. Science to us is a theory during in our school time, in our childhood time. Am I right? Did we really actually spend time in labs and prove something? Never. We never taught that way. Even our teachers were not taught that way. But this is actually what happened in our school system, which is too bad. Okay, now, for this 4-step method to work, there's always the law and principle to help support it. No, you cannot be like, I want to build a taman, okay? I want 500 houses. Okay, the cars can run as where they are lah. Cannot lah. Am I right? You need to know where to put the junction. You need to where to put the piping. Where's the traffic light? Instead of going to cross to the highway, and there must be a law. If there's no law, same goes to this principle. The law also governs this. If you don't understand the law, and it's also very, very simple, then it's also difficult for you to apply this thing. Then what are the law? Also four segment. When you plant a watermelon seed, you get watermelon. When you plant apple seed, you get apple. Okay? There's no such thing. You plant a banana seed, you get a watermelon. It does not work that way. So we have to understand the first law. Okay, second law is what you get more than what you give out. A lot of people try to comprehend, cannot lah. I always give. I don't get anything, So that means you're contradicting yourself. When you're contradicting yourself, this law will be cancelled. Forget about this law. So you have to look at what you give and what you get. Usually it happens. You will get from all angles in life. Okay, the third one. If you don't do anything, nothing will happen. So same goes like us. If you don't do work, you don't go for sales here and there, nothing will happen. But if you do something, okay, you have done something before, especially good thing, good results will come. But if you've done something bad, that bad things will come. Regardless whatever situation, regardless how old you are. Oh, this is a 4 law. No. Now you understand the law. Okay? What about, is there other thing that I should pay attention? Yes. We call it 4 flowers. What is 4 flowers? These are the indicators for us to pay attention whether how good is our progress in helping our goals to be successful. So these 4 flowers, we'll look at number 1. What you give is what you get. Nothing else more. Number 1, we have to understand this. Number 2, becoming as an habitual can create some results. For example, if you are a marathon runner, if you don't practice at all, like for example Lee Chong Wei, our Dato Lee Chong Wei, if Dato Lee Chong Wei become as the legend as it is, do you think that his success is like overnight? Never, right? So he find ways to make himself to become habitual in practice and to become the world-class player. There must be something that push it further. So habitual is our thing. Now, no wonder not many Malaysian people can become Lee Chong Wei. Why? Because people do not want to sacrifice. Because they want to enjoy life. Right? Enjoy life comes now. Suffer later. So that's what happened today. Now, Lee Chong Wei is different. You know, he worked hard in the first 20 years. Now he enjoy life already. Right? Now, this is habitual. And this is always work. The third one, your behavior will create your environment. What does that mean? Now, if you, all of us, just do one thing every single day for the next 1 year, I can guarantee all our environment people that will see what you're doing and will copy whatever we do. Because nobody as silly as these people continue to do the same thing and nothing happens. Because we must be able to do something and consistently doing it and see things happen. So our behavior also in conjunction with our environment. Let's say for example, if we are lazy person, then just check your family member first. Then the next check your employee and your bosses. And if these things are guaranteed, either one of it also same thing, as lazy as you. So this will be an indicator and tell us that good or bad, where is our progress? Okay. So number 4, behavior will create our next world, which means that if we want to shape a different Malaysia, that's where we want to do today. We need to start today. Okay, next 20-30 years, Malaysia, or if let's say Malaysia is going to be doomed here and there, everybody run away, then nobody take responsibility. So if you want to see a different Malaysia, today we need to do something to see what's going to happen. So by not only we ourselves to do something, but also we have to find ways to influence our environment. Okay, if our environment does not change due to us, ourselves, then it's time for us to do something for ourselves first. Because usually that's where the change will start. That's how we talk about change management. So people will talk about change management, but they themselves don't change. See, they themselves don't change. So when they themselves don't change, then we got a problem. Okay, so these are the things that I want to highlight about why the SIP principle works in certain extent. Now, okay, these are all still theory with me lah. Okay, I understand. You'll be thinking these are theory in a way itself. So how can it actually apply in our working life? I think this is something that we are more interested to know about this. Now, for example, I just run through with you some of the typical situation happens. Okay, now this is we all know project implementation. Those who run projects, those who work in projects, those who involve in projects, you will definitely see projects are not organized. Scope creep. We don't understand what scope creep. Scope creep means you agree this scope. Somehow down the road you have U-turn, or you have the other turn, some other turn, or you expand the thing, and then what happened? Nothing gets done. Delaying timeline. This one very, very common. Say the project 9 months, it end up 18 months later. Okay, so especially government project, it's very common. I've been doing that for a long time. Resource constraint. People are leaving. People are not committed. And then no buy-in. People not actually interested to look at that. And then political matters. Some people want to intercept and say I want to buy over the projects and don't care. And etc. etc. How are we going to tackle this kind of problems in day-to-day life? Then let me pick one example. Okay, let's pick one example of project implementation. I thought about delaying timeline. Okay, let's say I got a current problem delaying timeline behind 3 months of completion. So what can we do? So first set your goal, action plan. okay, to reduce the delay as much as possible. First thing of all, let's say you are bleeding, you can't be expecting things are I just like a magic wand, things will go away. First, you have to make sure it's not bleeding first. Then you work on next step in the way itself. Now, how do we do that? In the very fastest way. Set your goal in a very specific, very clear. Say how soon you want to get it done. Say in a month time. If you are bleeding, definitely you want to get it done as soon as possible in the project. Maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Now, the catch is here. Identify your right partner. I talk about identifying your right partner. What is actually the partner in this case? Now, in this specific problem, the timeline, we can actually identify a partner within an organization. Say another co-worker from another department or another subsidiary in that company that you know, okay, which more or less will have this problem. If an organization is facing project delaying timeline, most subsidiary in all other companies related to it have the same problem. There's no such thing, only that department got problem, the rest all no problem. Please open up your eyes. Because why? When there's a seeds already there, it's all spilled over. So now this is actually the partner I'm talking about. Okay? They also want to accomplish the project. So how do we do it? You take actions by work with the partner. Set regular follow-ups and focus on helping the other co-worker department to achieve what they want. Okay? And also at the same time, there's always a tricks here. The tricks here, I'll tell you slightly later at the end of slide. Okay? So then after that, you celebrate your small win. Which means what? From every single progress that you made with your partner in these sessions, you are creating like a mini coaching environment for yourself. When you create a mini coaching environment for yourself, you are trying to track your progress and solve this specific problem on delaying timeline. And how you can do it? You can go for lunch, you can go for a drink. Hopefully there is a safe one. Don't go for drive and drinking, those kind of stuff So, and talk about, I made some progress I see some changes here and there. I think we should keep continue. That's what I'm talking about, celebrating with your partner on these small wins. Because we always forgotten about when we trying to work on this thing and then we celebrate later We see. If we success, then we go for makan like that. No, we shouldn't do that. We should celebrate every single meeting. Even it's a small win. Even it's a small makan or even a drink. So that will keep us to work towards the goal. That's how, as an example for project implementation, I'm using this as a design thinking flowchart, design thinking paper. I usually do it with my client, so I can actually explain later on once we are ending our sessions. Okay, so what happened about problem on retaining talent? This one, everybody facing the same problem: high turnover. Okay, hiring process, too much red tape. Go through so many approval. No supporting career development for staff. Staff also don't know whether they're going to promote or not. Got other career waiting for them. Employer unwilling to change or listen. Some people think that the boss will say everything. You just listen to me. Don't talk so much. Shone, you have all these bosses then getting themselves big-headed. Or compensation not attractive enough. I think I want to conquer with certain industry. They don't really pay well. Depending on situation. But I guess that will be secondary. We talk about compensation. The most important is effective communication. Because why people leave you, even if you're a boss, usually because of boss problem. It's not about salary problem first. Okay, no clear direction, etc. How do we go to know about it? Same thing. I pick one sample. High turnover. On a monthly average, I've got more than 10 staff resign. Wow, it's not very serious already. Can you imagine the organization like 1,000 staff or 500 staff? Every month average got 10 staff resign. 1 year, how many staff resign already? Right, about 120 staff resign. So how are you going to maintain this type of trend? People look at your company, you're scared already. I don't want to join your company. I think I better think twice in the way itself. So the goal is to reduce the turnover. Okay, turnover. Maybe we start with 50%. Maybe start with 60%. I mean, I'm just giving an example. Then for the next 3 months, so we can actually talk about that goal and guide you guys on this part. This is what normally what I do. Beside on adding the change management scope, on specifically tackle all this problem. And then of course we talk about right partner. What's your right partner? And then you may look at other subsidiary companies, or sometimes it could be at home. Sometimes it could be your friend's company. It can be done. I'm sure there are somewhat rather every now and then, if you mingle around with friends, let's say if your friends are, to be honest, I'm not trying to say some otherwise. If your network around are people that actually makan gaji, you work with people, generally, more or less, you will have similar problem that, oh, my company, like that now got people resign also. You also have people resign. Because why you sit down and talk about this all the time? Talk about this all the time, you create that kind of environment already. So definitely there's a potential for you to do something to fix this. And of course, take actions, set regular follow-up, and then take a deep dive and come up some remedies. 2 or 3 steps. What can I do? Maybe I will find ways to help HR to do some other thing. Like a campaign, create a campaign and then help company to retain talent. Something like that. That can be done also. Okay. And then the next one, I want to talk about lack of team synergy. Oh, this one, bad apple. We always know one in one company, even, okay, bad apples also happen in a company like Apple Computers. Okay, in Apple Computers is an iPhone company, we all know, but we also may not be so sure they also have bad apple. This kind of situation, and you might have companies where no coherence, synergy among team, not motivated, no buy-in, lack of encouragement, etc., etc. How are we going to do to overcome this? Similar format. Okay, it could be some disharmony among your team members. Okay, so work on how to create a harmony in your environment. How do we do that? Now this is just to give you a tips. If you consistently see your work environment always argue and fight with each other, chances very well your family or your friends or somebody that you close on the other side, when you go back to your home, also have similar problems. Okay, now it could be the other side could be lesser problem. Now you go back and fix the other side problem. So which means sometimes the other partner I'm talking about can be at home. It could be your brother, sisters, company. It could be all this kind of thing. You can help to tackle the thing. Same model. We do a checkup. We do a frequency follow-up. And then how to celebrate right wins. And last but not least, this one quite sensitive. All of us here are leaders also, bosses also. Some bosses, I can say they also don't want to admit themselves inexperienced. And some bosses are very politically inclined one. They are not, sorry to say, some bosses they don't want to rely on capability. They want to rely on shortcuts. I mean, it's like the Asian says, or in mainland China, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. If you always rely on this, then that shows that you are not capable to do some other things. If even you know somebody can get you somewhere, but to sustain and create some big things and to change the whole world, to fix the problem, that relies on your capability. It's not about who you know. Okay, of course there are some leaders tend to indecisive, non-clarity. Okay, they always can't make up their mind. I got a friend yesterday. I had a discussion with her. The boss is busy taking over company. Okay, and then I haven't tell them very clear goal where they are going. Also very indecisive. His goal is to become chairman of company, but what about other staff here and there? No direction yet. But that's his direction. So, which means that all of us need to pakat and help him to become chairman. That is the goal of the company. So, how do you actually do this? I mean, there are different leaders lah. Some leaders are boastful, aggressive, and emotional. Not to say emotional is bad, but when we tend to use our emotion to override our decision making, to override our ability to run the companies, then that is actually where problem And some bosses also like micromanaging as well, not surprisingly. Even today, if you're not aware, Steve Jobs run Apple's in a micromanaging way. Do you know that? That's how he pushed his engineer to produce one of the best product in the world. He would just come down to the floor on development team and screw all the engineers. He asked them to change the blueprint here and there. So don't become Steve Jobs like that lah. Although he's a legend by himself lah. Nobody can become Steve Jobs anyway. It's just an example of it. Like, okay, we use this current problem. My superior do not have a clear direction. It's not very common. That means we ourselves don't have clear goal. If our bosses don't have clear goal, then we also don't know how to decide ourselves. Whether what kind of job that we want to do, what kind of career we want to do. Okay? Sometimes we have to go back and reflect on mirror. Hey, we go back and look at mirror. What am I going to do in the next couple of years? Very, very seriously, honestly. Ask yourself. Then set a goal and then look at what are the things that you're supposed to be work on. Because if your superior also don't have the clear direction, means you also don't have the clear direction. So find somebody that you can work on to chart that goal. And set a regular follow-up, look into deep dive elements like hindering you to move to your goal. Like maybe you have some limiting belief. There's something that always bogs you down. These are the things that always becomes a showstopper in looking at this. And then when you celebrate that small wins, these small wins can actually help you to create that kind of atmosphere where eventually your superior will be able to tell you what it is all about. The magically things is, this is what we talk about, the energy plus intention equal to bounce back effect. So this bounce back effect is to what you want to see in your environment. That's how we solve the problem almost instantly. So these are the typical situation we see day in, day out in our work. And there are more. Definitely more than that. I just picked 4 types of scenario which is very common in organization. Some got sales problem, they not achieve sales. They were in a heyday, but these sales people just fall flat in the next couple of months down the road. Many types of situation. So these are the typical things we can narrow down and fix the problems before we talk about a big change. Because if you don't fix this core problem, which rarely people do, we can talk about change until the cow comes back from over the moon. It never works. No, it never works, and it will only be good on paper for today. So I guess that's something that I want to share today. It's almost an hour. Okay. Now, this is a QR code that I would share out, and then maybe William and Shone can just screenshot this QR code. Now the reason why I put up this QR code is to allow any one of you, except for Shone's team, later on I will work with Shone's team. Okay, if you really want to take a deep dive and understand step by step, what can you do? Let's say you have a problem, you may not want to raise it out. You can have a free strategic session with me. No charge. My goal is to be able to tell you this and teach you this simple method and to fix this in a short-term basis. If you want to talk about long-term, medium-term, we will talk about some other programs, some other things that we will do. But generally, my goal for today is to allow you to book my time. Just book pick a time, and then you just click on this, scan this QR code. This is the same URL link, and then you will come to a site like this. My company, and then you click on one-on-one strategic coaching call, and then that's where you can select the time and day. Don't click on the above one. The above one is for mainland China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. So they are different crowd. So then you join in the session like you have to speak Mandarin. so that is actually a different crowd. So this is the bottom one is for Malaysia and Singapore, for us to book my time and then to explore this option. And I can actually be able to share the templates and then to just give it to you free of charge. and then let you have a try. No harm. I'm not going to charge you guys in the way itself, but you just have to book my time. If you don't book my time, then I got a lot of people book my time also. So even Shone sometimes also call me. I also won't be able to pick up because sometimes I got night calls, night coaching session. Now the intention is Shone also putting a lot of effort to bring this part 2 right forward, and I also want to do this for all Shone's audience, and to see how can this method could help you in your work, in your daily life, so that you won't be no. Now the catch is once you use this method, all methods you can throw away in the dustbin. Because why? Because this method will keep on working, like Sir Isaac Newton said. So if Sir Isaac Newton in 1687 proved it correct, and then you say it wrong, then we got problem, because it has been so many years already, 16th century until today. Until today is 21st century. So this method definitely works. It works for me in my life also. It helps me solve not only my career, it also helps people to solve relationship problem, especially team coherent. You know, have you seen team coherent doesn't really coherent, you know, they always argue and fight, especially sales. They fight among themselves, they even physically, abusively. You know, don't end up like, you know, you get so emotional, you become Will Smith ready, go up the stage and then smack the way how the fella out. So let's not go there. So this is the strategic coaching session, open up for all of you. Okay, you just have to click on it and then book my time, and then I can actually explore this and tell you how this method could help you all in your life and your work, particularly in your work and your career. Okay, so I think this will be all. I'm done in my session today, right on time.
Thank you so much, Desmond. And seriously, and there's a comment from Rani. Yes, it's very generous of you, to offer these free consultations. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if I were you, I would quickly actually scan the code just now, actually offered by Desmond. But no worry, later on we will also be sharing this to you all. Now, well, just to let you all know the experience of Desmond. Desmond, he actually has more than 20 years of professional experience in Fortune 500 companies. And seriously, many companies that you have actually heard before, and especially this company called Franklin Covey. Anyone of you heard of this company or not? It's an international company, right, Desmond? Yeah. So that is Desmond's experience. Well, he has more experience. His experience actually with Petronas, Shell, Microsoft, Yahoo, Fujitsu, IBM, you know, and many more. Yeah. Well, if I were you, if you are actually at this juncture of time looking for change, I would strongly recommend you to give a ring to this Desmond. Why? It's free anyway. Yeah.
So
now,
it's good because
yes.
I'm offering for Shone's audience today, because I just want to give that as a gift, and before, normally I don't do that, and because it takes a lot of my time, I normally charge, you know, unless you sign up my coaching session, then you get the entire blueprint end to end, what to do personally, so it helps you in your career.
Yep. And okay, Desmond, probably you can help me to unshare first. Let me share my screen. I will need you all to do me a favor, and this is going to mean a lot to us. Why? Because we will need you all to give us a rating in our Google business. Reason being, it will actually help us to be able to rank in this Google. When we have somebody search for us, then they can actually get to know us better. Okay, now can you help us to scan this? Yeah, scan this and then rate us in our Google business and give us a good rating. If you think this session is very good and helping you, yes, by all means, scan it. Now, there's also another thing I wish to actually throw in the offer. Now, just now, Desmond actually mentioned about this smart way of managing works. Am I right? Now, smart way actually stands for being specific, measurable, achievable, and this relevant and time bound. Now, this system probably some of you probably heard of this thing called OKR. It's actually a tool used by Google and grow the business from 40 staff to nowadays more than 120,000. That is equivalent to 2,000 plus times over the span of 20 years. Now, we also wanted to offer to this audience here a free trial, free use, not to say free trial, free use for life. Yes. Well, just to let you all actually experience it, number one. And number two, if you're actually a startup and if you are actually a consultant and you can actually use these tools to help this customer, your client, for this goal management. Yeah. Well, it is actually a very, very popular tool being actually applied, implemented in Western world and nowadays in Southeast Asia. Okay. Well, that is about all. Now, tell what, beside our this, I would say solution, right? We are also kind of organizing, providing performance management, I would say training. And this training is actually 2 days plus 3 months of coaching. And we are actually going to talk about leadership, management, as well as coaching. Yeah, how to actually coach your manager to coach, how to teach your this manager to manage and lead. Okay, so that's about all from my part. Yeah, and for now we actually open to the floor for Q&A. Yeah, for Desmond. Well, any questions that y'all would like to check with this Desmond? Come on. Or would you all like to actually give him a call instead of sending him an email?
No, I offer a link there already, and then you guys
Oh,
have to
okay. Yeah.
book my time to discuss it in a separate Zoom call one-on-one. But I'm fine to open up questions on the floor now. Any questions that I can spend time in the next probably 10 to 15 minutes, and then we can wrap up this presentations today, and hopefully make full use of it.
Yep. Okay. If there are no questions, I would say thank you so much for your this participation, for coming over. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Rani, Colin. Yeah. And Fahana, Shashi, and Tiliba, as well as Stephen, Leswan, Pravina, Melvin, William, Simon, and Era. Thank you so much. Okay. Yep.